I could add more foundation, but then it's apt to look kind of cakey, and nobody wants that. So hi everyone, welcome back to Pavonine Studios Beauty and Art. My name is Amy. If you haven't been here before, this is going to be another installment. I will link the playlist down below or up in the cards, or maybe both, to the rest of my Mix It Mondays. Now, last week I didn't post a Mix It Monday because I don't know. I just didn't get to it. Things just got out of hand. I am back this week with another Mix It Monday. Today I thought I would try mixing a couple of drop style foundations, and these are both, I believe, still available. So the first one is Warm Ivory in the number 7 Airbrush Away foundation, and I've worn this but not a ton. And then the other one is relatively new to me. It's the Physicians Formula Organic Wear Silk Foundation, Elixir, and I have the shade Fair to Light, so number 2. And I have shaken both of these up nicely. I've got a little bit of stuff on my face already, and neither one of these have a sunscreen, the best that I can determine. So although I normally wear sunscreen, and I recommend that people wear sunscreen, I'm not going to put any on today, just because I'm not going anywhere, I don't think. So I'm going to take a little bit of both of these on the back of my hand. The Physicians Formula one is lighter than the Airbrush one, which is a good thing because Warm Ivory is not quite my color in the number 7 foundations. Usually I wear, I think it's Calico, but you can kind of see the colors there, and they're both quite a thin formula. I don't know how this is going to go. I have worn the Physicians Formula one as well, but I don't remember what I thought of it, and so that's part of the reason why I am doing this today. So I'm just gonna mix that on the back of my hand and put a little bit of this on my face. I have this eye look up on my channel already. It should already be available, and I will be sure and link that above in case you want to see it, because I am testing a new to me palette. This palette has been out for a while, but as far as I am aware, it is still available. So because these are both serum-y type of foundations, which can be a little problematic for me, I'll be interested to see how they go on, how they build, how they wear, how they look, etc., etc. I was pretty frugal with the amount that I put out, so I may put on a little bit more so that I can bring it down onto my neck, which is it's always red, but right now I'm finding some eczema, so it's really red and irritated looking, and it is not pretty. So one thing about serum type foundations, that at least on me, that I have discovered, is that they can streak a bit when I put them on with a brush, which is my preferred way to put on a foundation. Usually I can take care of that by going over it with a sponge and so forth, and that may be what I do today. I don't love bringing foundation all the way down onto my neck, mostly because, you know, it ends up transferring onto my clothes or my seat belt or something like that. So I'm going to be frugal, yet try to get a little bit of coverage here, and hope that I can tone down a little bit of this irritation. So I feel like that color match is pretty good. I would say that this is high medium coverage. I still see a few little things kind of poking through, nothing super super obvious or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and dot my concealer on right now. Let that sit for a minute while I kind of bounce over this with a damp sponge, just to make sure things are blended and not streaky. So let's have a look. Okay, I'm not loving the way that this looks right here. I don't feel particularly dry right there, but it's kind of clinging or laying like I'm dry right there. So I don't know, we'll try a little setting spray just to see if that helps that out a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and blend out that concealer. I'm going to set that concealer with a little bit of my NARS crystal powder. That was the Giorgio Armani concealer, as per usual. So as far as I can tell right now, no issues blending that concealer over those foundations or with those foundations. I don't really feel like I need to powder. I think I am going to powder my forehead and T-zone just because, I don't know, I kind of like to, just to make sure that things don't get too creasy or something like that in my expression lines. So Bare Minerals powder, and of all the places on my face that I could put powder, my forehead is always the place I put the most. And then just super lightly anything extra on my brush on the rest of my face. And I'm going to take just a tiny bit more and go down my neck so that maybe those foundations will stay put on my neck and stay there instead of transferring to my clothes or my seatbelt or something. All right, I think that will do for the moment. I'm going to go put on the rest of my face, and I will come back and we'll kind of reassess the situation down here, see how it's gone. I probably will do a setting spray just because I find that that can help set things down and melt things together. Although sometimes, especially a sort of serum-y foundation like this, there's not much that I've been able to figure out that really helps that look differently. I could add more foundation, but then it's apt to look kind of cakey, and nobody wants that. So I am going to go ahead and do that, and I will be back, and we'll talk about what I put on the rest of my face, and I'll do a check-in and so forth, and I'll be right back, guys. Okay, I am back, and I've got the rest of my makeup on, clearly. Let me just share with you real quick what I put on the rest of my face. For my lips, let's go ahead and start with that. I used the lip liner from Rimmel and Innocent. I used the Natasha Denona lipstick in the color Natasha, and I went over that with the Coffee Cat lip gloss from Wet n Wild. I lined my waterline with the cream gel liner from ColourPop in the color Punch. For my bronzer, I used the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 100. I like this bronzer. It's a nice bronzer. For my blush, I used the Jouer Blush Duo, and I just swirled both of these colors together. This is the Darling Blush Duo. And for my highlight, I got out my Too Faced Candlelight Glow. Do they even make this anymore? The Too Faced Candlelight Glow. So it's kind of a champagne-y and pink half and half kind of thing, and I just sort of swirled those colors together. I think that's everything that I put on my face that was, you know, potentially different than every other time I do my face. For the foundation, I did go ahead and use a little bit of the Collab setting spray in Grand Finale. I like this setting spray a lot. I can't tell that it did a whole lot to sort of change my opinion about the way that this is sitting on my skin. I still feel like it's settling a little bit in my lines right there and not sitting real nice right here. Everywhere else it seems to be fine, like on my nose and stuff, although before I sprayed it did feel a little like it looked a little polka dotty, which I don't like. We will see how these two serum-y foundations play together over the course of the day. I will do a check-in and let you know how things were. But other than that, I think I'm just gonna leave it there for today, guys. Hi guys, I'm just doing a quick little check-in on my foundation mixture that I did earlier today. This hasn't been on my face for a super long time, about 6 hours, but I do have thoughts on it and I wanted to share that as a check-in. I won't be wearing this combination again, I don't think, because it's just not, I don't know, it's just not sitting well on my skin for whatever reason. It's not horrible, but it hasn't improved either. I did go out for a little while and I had to wear a mask, of course, and so I feel like it really kind of didn't, I feel like this about my whole face, that it didn't stay at the level of coverage that I started out with. It hasn't really worn off in patches or anything like that, I don't think. I don't know, there's just something about this that I'm not really liking. I wish I could be more eloquent about why I'm not really loving this. I am going to attribute it to my what am I going to call it? My lukewarm feeling about the Physicians Formula foundation, which this is not one of my favorites to begin with. It's far from a favorite, actually. And so I'm gonna say that it's that as opposed to the number 7 one, which I do like a little bit better. And also the fact that they are both serum-like foundations. So, I mean, you know, I can look in the mirror and the monitor and stuff, and I look fine. There's nothing wrong with the way I look or anything like that. It's just that it's not, it almost looks kind of like, it almost looks dry. Like I'm seeing like little, not really flaking exactly. It's just, it looks makeup-y and yet it's not covering. And I don't like that. If you're gonna look makeup-y, you better be covering everything. I don't like that look anyway, but I did want to check in and let you know that as far as I'm concerned, this combination is a fail, and I won't be wearing that again. But you know, the Physicians Formula foundation is not a favorite. I do like the number 7 Airbrush one, although I like other formulas of their foundations better than the Airbrush one. So, but you know, this was just fun. It was just fun to try something a little bit different, a combination that I'd never put on my face before. And I'm not going to drone on too long. I'm just going to leave it at that, and we'll get back to the regular video. Thank you so much for joining me for another Mix It Monday. I really like doing these, and I hope you enjoy them too. Don't forget to like and subscribe, ring that bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye guys.